Welcome back to the Cyber Resilience Brief, a SafeBreach podcast. I'm your host, Tova Dvorin, and I am joined today by our co host, Offensive Cybersecurity Engineer Adrian Culley. We're in the thick of Critical Infrastructure Security and Resilience Month, focusing today on the massive security challenge presented by IT and OT convergence. Adrian, why is this convergence such a risk for critical infrastructure?
Tova, it's a collision of worlds. IT, information technology, prioritizes confidentiality, integrity, and availability, often referred to as the CIA triad, in that order. OT, operational technology, ICS, industrial control systems, SCADA control systems, prioritizes availability, integrity, and confidentiality, AIC, in that order. Downtime in OT can be measured in lives or millions of dollars in physical damage.
So, the security cultures and technology stacks are fundamentally different. Historically, OT networks were air gapped or separate, but that's rarely the case now with the digital transformation and remote maintenance.
Exactly. That connection, the IT-OT boundary, is the highest valued target for a modern adversary. They use IT vulnerabilities, phishing, web app exploits, for example, for initial access, then pivot to the OT network to cause the maximum physical disruption.
This integrated threat demands an integrated validation strategy. This is where our good friend continuous automated red teaming, or CART, becomes essential, offering a unified view.
As you sometimes say, Tova, keep on carting.
Keep on
Um,
guarding.
Traditional testing often separates the two. A penetration test for IT, a separate and usually superficial assessment for OT. CART brings a unified, simulated, offensive capability across the boundary.
So let's review how CART does unify that validation process while respecting the extreme safety concerns that you have in OT.
So CART starts by running continuous automated simulations on the IT network to ensure the initial access and lateral movement attempts are immediately detected and contained. This is the prevention stage. When the simulation reaches the IT/OT boundary, think of it as a DMZ, it validates all the security controls there: firewalls, data diodes, access control lists. The simulation's payload stops there, but the monitoring and logging of the OT network are all tested. Did the OTIDS detect the attempted breach? Did the monitoring system flag the unusual communication?
So you validate the detection capability in the OT environment without ever executing a command that touches the physical process controls. It's a continuous, simulated breach attempt that tests the entire kill chain up to the point of physical impact.
That's exactly the core concept. It allows critical infrastructure owners to continuously validate their most critical security assumption, that the segmentation is robust and that they have immediate visibility if that boundary is compromised. This aligns perfectly with CISA's principle to assess your risk against the full range of cyber physical threats.
When a gap is found in an OT control, remediation is often slow due to long patch cycles or vendor requirements. How does CART accelerate that process?
CART provides immediate evidence based feedback. Instead of waiting for an annual audit to find a misconfigured firewall rule in the DMZ, CART finds it within hours of the change and provides the exact TTP that succeeded.
Right, and that allows the security team to then implement a compensating control, like a new IDS signature or a tighter network flow policy, immediately without waiting for the next patching window.
That's exactly right, Tova. And then here's the best part: CART immediately reruns that successful attack simulation to validate the efficacy of the compensating control. It's a continuous closed loop process of improvement. This is critical in OT, where an average MTTR, mean time to remediate, as you all know, can be significantly longer. CART ensures that the fix works and doesn't introduce new risks.
From what you're saying, Adrian, CART is truly moving CI organizations towards the CISA principle of continuously improve and adapt as well.
It's the engine of continuous improvement, Over. It improves the necessary ongoing quantitative proof that the security controls are holding up against modern unified IT/OT attack campaigns.
And it's worth mentioning as well, by the way, that this is the same principle behind much of the new regulation in the EU.
Exactly that.
Okay, so this takes the concept of resilience from this theoretical goal to a practical and measurable outcome.
outcome driven. It absolutely does that, Tova. We've covered BAS for the foundation, AV for focused supply chain aware prioritization, and now CART for continuous, safe IT/OT boundary validation. These three pillars form the core of a modern critical infrastructure resilience strategy. November's focus, Resolve to be Resilient, is not just about having a plan. It's about having verifiable data that your plan works, that data comes from continuous validation.
That's right, Adrian. Thank you for diving into how CART touches on this topic in this episode. Listeners, stay tuned for our final episode for this month, where we will tie all of this together into the CISA framework of know, assess, plan, and improve. How does continuous validation elevate the entire resilience lifecycle?
Again, thank you to all our listeners and welcome to our new listeners. In the next episode, we'll be positioning BAS, AAV, and CART as the essential components to satisfy the final, most crucial element, measure progress to continuously improve. We'll talk about moving from static periodic exercises to a dynamic living security posture.
Thank you, Adrian. It's a critical discussion. So join us next time. And in the meantime, stay safe with SafeBreach. The Cyber Resilience Brief is a SafeBreach podcast, executive produced by Tova Dvorin and Adrian Culley. Sound provided by Adobe Music. Editing done with Adobe Podcasts. Distribution and tracking provided by Podbean. If you enjoy the podcast and would like to learn more, please check us out at www.safebreach.com. SAFEBREACH.com. And don't forget to leave us a 5-star review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.